What's the most hurtful thing you've overheard about yourself by accident? Part 5. Welcome back, folks. Hearing something bad about you is one of the worst things that could happen to anyone. It does make us insecure and decreases the self-confidence instilled in us. The problem can be solved if people would just stop talking badly about others behind their backs. But it turns out human nature is hard to change, and bitching behind another's back is one of everyone's favorite pastimes. Many of our dear Redditors have faced similar situations and are here today to share some of the experiences with us. When I was 11, my parents were splitting up, and one day I was sitting in the hallway eavesdropping. There's a silence for a while, and I can hear my dad say, "You can't take my name, I won't let you," to which my mom replies, "You can keep her, she ruined my 20s. Then she promptly disappeared for 15 years before coming back and expecting some kind of mother-daughter bonding. Safe to say that did not happen. No child is a waste. That's just a disgusting thing to hear. I was walking into karate class I had 3 times weekly when I was a young teenager. Right as I opened the door to walk in, I heard someone say, "Yeah, he kind of just looks pale and sickly," and then stopped immediately when he saw me. Cue the entire room also turning and going completely quiet as they see me. For context, I was incredibly frail, pale kid with red hair and an eating disorder, so he was probably right, but still, ouch. That happening on top of a normal middle school bullying was a real dick punch to my self-esteem. Yeah, body shaming goes deep. In sophomore year of high school, I had 3 girls who bullied me mercilessly. I heard a lot of things that hurt my feelings, but the worst one was this one day when my dad was helping me carry things into school for a project. We passed by one of the girls with some of her friends who didn't know me, and I heard her go, "Why does she dress like that? She's so fucking weird. She's literally always fucking happy about every little thing. It's so fucking annoying." Really loud. My dad and I both heard it. He's very socially awkward, so he couldn't bring himself to say anything. He also didn't want to acknowledge that he had heard it because I think he thinks I didn't want him to bring it up. I kind of just saw this heartbreak in his eyes. I can imagine his pain. I know I would break down in tears if someone ever said something about him, whether he was there or not. We both just kept walking, and we stopped talking. It was a long and silent walk. I don't know why she criticized what I was wearing. I was wearing leggings and a plain t-shirt. I felt better in junior year at one point. The bullying had gotten so bad that they would tweet about me and then throw me down farther if I tried to stand up for myself. They'd make up names for me or whisper them while I was doing presentations in class to throw me off. One time I found out my grandmother died while I was in class, and one of the girls goes, "Oh my God, she's crying," really loud. Thankfully, my teacher didn't put up with her. They also bullied her daughter at points, though I was the main target. She would tell them off. One even physically wrecked my school project. Anyway, one day, I just couldn't handle it. During my free period, I went to the auditorium and just cried. I didn't know the tech director was in there with some of my peers. They came up to me and I remember them saying, "How do you handle it when someone doesn't like you?" And they all knew what I was talking about. I remember these sweet kids, most of them were part of the LGBTQ community, and they knew what it was like to be bullied. Told me they were jealous. They told me that I was beautiful and smart, and that everyone in the school, it was a tiny school, liked me, and they couldn't handle that. They also told me that they couldn't handle that I was happy in life. That always stuck with me. It changed my view. The girls were all overweight and rude and mean. They were always complaining, too, and it was clear they weren't happy. Later on, one of them tried to sabotage me senior year by taking my project that I worked for months on and tore it to shreds. It was a trifold board, and she ripped everything off of it and scribbled on it. The principal knew what I was going through and told me that if I thought I was sabotaged, they would treat it as such, which is reason to suspend or even expel. I believe in karma, so I told them that I believed her and it was an accident, and she was let go with a detention. Well, karma did get them. One of them was arrested a few weeks after graduation. Another was dumped by her boyfriend and is randomly suffering from hair loss. The third dropped out of college, or was kicked out, which is likely for her, but I did of course, get my own revenge on the girl who wrecked my project before graduation. We were friends for a few months in freshman year when we were both new. I had a stick of concealer in my backpack that she always borrowed. One day, I realized that it was what made me break out. I kept it in the bottom of my bag for 4 years without a cap, collecting crumbs and dirt and bacteria. I had completely forgotten about it. Well, this girl has the nerve to ask me to borrow it one day in senior year after wrecking my project. I gently wiped the top of it so it appeared clean and let her borrow it. She came in that later with horrible skin. She had broken out everywhere, and I didn't even feel bad. Karma definitely worked for her. Apparently, they've got a sister who's really fat. Is she coming? Overheard at my sister's New Year's Eve party. About me. Went back to my parents and cried for hours. Now that's rude. Christmas at my grandparents' when I was 13. I was in the living room talking to my older cousin and grandpa when I left to go use the bathroom. When I got done, instead of going back there, I went to the dining room upstairs to play cards with my other cousins in the dining room. My grandpa is hard of hearing, and it's a pretty small house. From the other room, I hear my cousin ask my grandpa, "Where'd OP go?" And my grandpa answers back, practically screaming, and says, "He's probably still in the bathroom looking at that pornography." So yeah, that was a rough Christmas I had honestly forgotten about until just now. That must have hurt real bad. Freshman year of high school. This kid, let's call him Sam, while close to the classroom exit with his back turned to me. "Oh, Pepper isn't here? He's fucking retarded." I was literally arm lengths right behind him. Laughed it off at the moment, but later it really hurt, and these days I think back to it wishing that I had decked him. "Hey, you could have been born retarded too, kid." My sister has always had a very tall, slim body type, whereas I take after mom, so I'm shorter and curvier. I had a lot of puppy fat growing up. I once overheard my granddad make a comment when I was 10. One of them could be a model when she grows up, but the other one? Such a shame. I was devastated and spent the night crying and begging my mom to take me home. He still doesn't know. I heard him, but that comment led to a lifetime of self-esteem issues. Please be careful when talking about children and their weights. Sibling rivalry takes birth from situations like that. My friends talking about me being such a buzzkill for not drinking when we go out and not staying out too late. Yeah, idiots, you dumbasses need a DD, and it'll be a cold day in hell when I risk my CDL. Needless to say, that was the last time I went out with them. Grow up, guys. That I was an unwanted child. As an adult, I can still feel that pain I felt when I was 7 years old. It's apparent whenever I meet that parent. Needless to say, I'm pretty much dead inside and have no self-worth or confidence. That's one of the most hurtful things a child could have heard. Have you faced similar situations like this? What are your thoughts about it? Comment your thoughts below and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't until now.